A few days ago, I had somebody ask me a pretty interesting question. They said, Scott, why don't you quit YouTube, bro? Why don't you quit YouTube? You've been doing this for like 3 years, 4 years. You only got 5,000 subscribers. Your videos don't even hit 1,000 views. Why don't you quit YouTube? Yo, the haters will try to get you by any means, man. They come up with the craziest things, the most hateful comments. And I'm one of these content creators who reads every single comment. So they told me, yo, Scott, why don't you quit YouTube? And I laughed. I'm like, this guy doesn't know anything about who I am or why I'm doing this, right? People think that I'm like them, right? A lot of people who don't make content, or even people who do make content, they get this idea that I'm making content for the same reasons that they make content. But they're wrong because they don't know anything about me. They think that I'm making content for the money, the fame, the clout. And I would be lying if I told you that I wasn't interested in obviously getting some clout, obviously getting some fame, obviously getting some money. But that's not what motivates me. That's not what motivates me. When people say, yo, Scott, why are you doing this? You don't even get the views. It tells me more about them than it does about myself, right? You're telling me more about yourself than you really know. Because what you're telling me is that you're a person who seeks validation. You're a person who, if you don't get validated by other people, you give up, you quit, because you care too much about what other people think. You're seeking out, daddy's home. You're waiting for daddy to come home. Oh, if people aren't holding you up, putting you on a pedestal, you're gonna have a pity party. Oh, let me just quit. And the truth is, I'm in this game for something completely different, right? I do YouTube because I enjoy talking and telling people my opinions. I get a kick out of it, I love getting on here and having people listen to me, tell them what I think about a topic or an idea. And I love the idea of having those people captivated by my idea, whether they agree or not, right? I always find it funny when you get that one hater that says, oh, nobody watches you. What do you mean nobody's watching me? You're watching me, dummy. If I have even one person watch my videos, that's enough. That's enough. Do you go into every conversation hoping to have a crowd? Because this is what this is. This is what it is. This is a conversation. It's a conversation out into the void. And whatever ear it drops on is a win. Even if it's one person, if literally one person sat down and watched this video in its entirety, that's a win. I got one person to listen and resonate with what I said. Do you think I care about getting giant numbers? Now, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. If you want to go, if this wants to go viral, let it go viral. But I guarantee you it probably won't, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that because that's not the point. The point is to talk. The point is to give you my perspective, tell you about my existence on this planet, in this reality, get my words out there into the universe, to tell the universe I exist, And I also like the attention. Let's keep it a buck. I like the attention. I like the idea of having a community. I like having people agree with me, but I also like having people disagree with me, right? I like having the trolls. Some content creators really don't like trolls. Some content creators get in their feelings when they get trolled. It affects them emotionally, psychologically. That shit doesn't work on me. When I get trolls, I get excited. I'm like, yo, I got somebody to argue with. You can ask my girlfriend. I'll spend hours messaging back and forth with trolls. I don't care. That shit is funny as hell. It's funny as hell for multiple reasons. The first reason is I'm wearing a $20,000 Rolex. And you're in your mother's basement. Nothing you can say hurts me. I find it amusing. I find it funny. Secondly, you're watching me, buddy. I'm not watching you. I promise you that there's more people on this planet who know who Scott Leonard is than that know who you are, right? Because the truth is, anybody above me is not going to waste their time arguing with me. Any content creator or person in this world who's more successful than me, or that has more viewers than me, or that has more clout than me, or more money than me, or is living a better life than me, they're not going to waste their time trying to look down and say something negative to me. That's not how this works. So I know for a fact that if you're in here being negative and being an asshole to me, you're probably lower than me. Let's keep it a buck. So it's an automatic win. You're automatically owned. Because little known fact, even though my channel videos don't get tons and tons of views, I still make money on this channel. How? Why? Because I post a lot of videos. I'm still getting 60, 70, 80,000 views a month. So your favorite YouTuber who posts 2 videos a month and gets 40,000 views gets less views than me. But that's not the point. The point is that I'm making money trolling you. You think you're trolling me, but I'm trolling you. And that's amusing as hell. You know, that's what keeps me going, man. The reason I don't quit YouTube is because the haters don't let me quit. The haters don't let me quit. It's so much fun. It's so much fun seeing haters come in and waste hours of their day messaging me, saying a bunch of crazy stuff. I get paid to respond to you. You don't get paid to respond to me, so I think it's funny. I think it's funny. And I know that the longer I do this, the more I do this, the more I come online, the more videos I make, the better I will become as a content creator. And it only takes 1 or 2 videos to blow up. And what's going to happen is I'm going to blow up. I'm going to get all of my dreams fulfilled. I'm going to become that guy. And you're going to still be a hater in your mother's basement unemployed. Do you think that iShowSpeed didn't have haters when he was streaming for like 2-3 years to 2 viewers? Do you think Kai Cenat didn't have haters? And I would love to, I wish I could go in and find the original haters these guys had, and I can compare their life, their current living situation to iShowSpeed or to a Kai Cenat, to an XQC, to a Sneeko, to a Fresh and Fit, to an Andrew Tate. Because I guarantee you, you spent all that time hating. Meanwhile, that person was succeeding. And at the end of the day, that person now made it. They're famous, they're multimillionaires, and you're still in the same situation hating. Or even worse, you probably flipped. That's one thing I hate more than anything. I hate the haters that flip. The haters that start out as haters, start out as trolls, and then once they see you get a little bit of emotion, they flip, and now they're your biggest fan. The truth is, you were always my biggest fan. You were always my biggest fan. That's the reason why you watch every single day out of hate. Because you love that shit. And that keeps me motivated. That's the reason why I have not quit YouTube. Because I know I'm going to make it. Every single thing that I've ever done in my life, I've made it at. Being a musician, made it. Maybe not to the giant, biggest degree, but I made it to where my goal. I reached my goal. Being a photographer, made it. I got published in literally Vogue Korea. I got published in a bunch of places. I have articles. I have a bunch of stuff all over. Made it. Being a software engineer. One day I just randomly started learning how to code. Became a software engineer making $200,000. Made it. Owning my dream car, which at the time was first of all, the McLaren wasn't even my dream car. My dream car was a Mazda Miata. That was my dream car. A Mazda fucking Miata. And then I got the Mazda Miata and my dream car was a Porsche 718 Spyder. And I remember telling people, oh, one day I'm going to have this car. And they laughed at me in my face at my old job. You're never going to get that car, buddy. Good luck with that. And less than a year later, less than 2 years later, I had the Porsche 718 Spyder. And then I said, you know what? I want to get a McLaren. And I went out and I got a fucking McLaren. Why? Because I am that guy. I'm that guy. And that's the reason why I have not quit YouTube. Because I know that I'm that guy. And I know that if I continue making videos and I put in the time, the time. Nothing happens easy in this life. All of the people who made it in YouTube, they didn't make it in YouTube in 1 year, in 2 years. They've been on YouTube for like 10 fucking years before they made it. All of them. So for me to come in here with 3 years of YouTube and say, oh man, I haven't made it, let me give up. If you do that, you're a loser. You're a brokey. You're broke. And you'll always be a loser and a brokey and an NPC. Why? Because you didn't have the spine. You didn't have the balls to continue down the path, to continue trying to make your goals, because you were too afraid to fail. That's why. I know that if I continue, it might not be tomorrow. It might not be the day after tomorrow. It might not be next year. But if I continue making videos, I will make it, because every single thing that I have done in my life, I have made it at. I have never, ever, ever, ever started out with a goal and not reached my goal. So you can continue hating in the shadows. I love that shit. And I will continue working on myself, working on my skill set, becoming a better content creator. And at the end of the day, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, 10 years from now, when I have 500,000 subscribers, when I have 1 million subscribers, when I have 1 million plus subscribers, when I have 100,000 people watching my live stream, you can come back and we can talk. And I can laugh, because I'll still be winning. I'll still be winning, buddy. Ay, 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 ay. So that's the reason why I haven't quit YouTube. And there's one more thing. There's one more reason that I'm leaving out here. It's the real secret reason. The secret reason is because I'm actually a cult leader. I'm actually a cult leader. No shit. We're all cult leaders. That's what YouTube is. I was talking to Bailey yesterday about different cults. And I said, you know what? People always imagine a cult as having thousands and thousands of followers. But when you go do your research on all of the big cults, the Heaven's Gates, the Jonestown, the Charles Manson family, when you go back and do your research, those groups were like less than my subscriber count. Charles Manson was like 15 people. The Jonestowns was like 800 people. Heaven's Gate was like 50 people. Like, come on, dude. Under those terms, I already am a cult leader. Under those terms, Mr. Beast is the biggest cult leader in the history of humanity. So I find it funny. One thing I know is, cult leader or not, I'm not giving up. I'm not quitting YouTube. And I hope you come along for the journey. I hope you come along for the journey. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.